Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm currently booking over 300 calls a month with my agency with zero ad spend. And if my life depended on it, if somebody literally had a gun to my head and they said, Jordan, if you don't book 60 calls within the next 100 days with zero ad spend, well, this is exactly how I would do it. So I have my computer right here. And by the way, if you need help growing your agency, I'm currently doing over 300K a month with my e-commerce agency at 70% gross profit margins. So if you need help, you're going to be working one-on-one with me. I'm not going to have a course to sell you. It's literally, let's sit down, have a conversation. But what this video is about is booking you over 100 calls in the next 60 days. Now, I don't know how big your team is, and if I were to say to you, hey, here's 100 booked calls for the next 60 days, a lot of businesses couldn't handle that. And so I want to make sure that you can handle this. But the good news is, if that is too much, that's okay. This is a method that is guaranteed to book you more calls that requires $0 in ad spend and allows you to scale it as hard or lightly as you want. This is literally a lever of scale, and you can decide how hard you want to pull that lever. Step one is your landing page. And if your landing page isn't dialed, then you're not going to get very far. And before we can do massive outreach, before we literally launch this cannon of acquisition, you need to have a landing page that's designed to convert your prospects into a qualified call. So step one is your landing page, and if your landing page isn't optimized, then you're not going to get very far. Before we do massive outreach, before we literally launch this cannon of massive acquisition, we need to have a landing page that's dialed. Before you fire 1,000 cannonballs, if it's pointed over here and you're trying to get over here, you're not going to get very far. So think of 100 qualified businesses came into your site. How can I convert at least 50% of them to book a call with me? So I'm a big fan of what's called the unlimited scrolling funnel, and that's exactly what it is. It's basically somebody coming into your site and they can't stop scrolling because it's just result, testimonial, testimonial, case study, case study. It's undeniable proof that if John, who's your ICP, comes into your site, it showcases to John, like, what are you doing? Why have you not booked a call yet? We have undeniable proof that we serve your industry, and you can't stop scrolling because there's just so many results to see. Now, a perfect example of this, and this is my all-time favorite funnel, but it's Alex Hermosi's first gym launch funnel. Now, you can see this here by Ben Mood. This is a relatively older YouTube video, but right at about 10 minutes, let me see here. Right at about 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, you can see the old gym launch funnel of it literally just being results, 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 results. And I modeled our website off that exactly. And if you're looking to build a unlimited scrolling funnel, just check out Carbon Box Media, which is my business, and you'll see that I have over 151 case studies. It's literally a VSL that just highlights what we do for our clients. It's our experience, and then 21 video testimonials, a ton of screenshots, and a quick hack here is for you to showcase your best case studies right on top. As you can see, this funnel goes on for a very, very
One eternity later.
very long time. And the only button somebody can push, the only thing somebody can do within this website is click my CTA, which does what? Takes them all the way down, and it scrolls all the way down. And I did that on purpose because I want it to just keep scrolling and like case study, case study, case study. It's like, oh my God, these guys do so well in the e-commerce space. But the only thing somebody can do here is book a call with me. And that's it right here. And then it's fill out your information, et cetera, et cetera. So quick hack, have some of your best case studies at the bottom right next to where your booking link is. And then also, if you're lucky enough to have somebody land on your site, you want to have some of your best case studies right on top. So I specifically have from 80K a month to 200K a month in ad spend with a higher return on ad spend, from 5K a month to 450K a month in a year and a half. And then if they scroll down, this is Honey Packs. They're doing about 6.8 million in sales in 7 months. Now they're doing about 1.5. But again, this isn't about my clientele. This is about an example of what the unlimited scrolling funnel looks like. So back to class. So again, this is what we modeled for our landing page. And guys, this fucking cranks. It crushes. It converts people into sales calls all day long. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have any case studies or testimonials. Yes, you do. You just don't realize it yet. And if you're doing at least 3K a month, 5K a month, 7K a month, if you're working with somebody and you're doing good work, chances are you have a case study, chances are you have a testimonial. You just haven't asked yet. And the best way to go about this is if you're working with John and John's your best client and John worked with a shitty agency, got bad results, then transferred over to you and you're getting better results than the previous agency and John is happy, strike while the iron is hot. Reach out to John and say, hey, John, we've been working together for a while now. If you're open to it, I'd love to hop on a Zoom call and ask you 3 or 4 questions on just what it's like to work with us. Let me know if you'd be open to it. Now, if you want to add fuel to the fire, you could say, hey, John, if you're willing to do this, I'll also take $500 off your next invoice. I'll also buy you a gift card to your favorite restaurant. I'll send you a check in the mail for $500. If you want to get crazy, I think the crazier you get, the diminishing return, the more diminishing return you're going to have. If you do something like I'll credit the entire next month invoice, if you're desperate for case studies and testimonials, go for it. It's going to be the same effect if you credit $500 versus the entire month invoice. And this is more powerful than you think because one of our clients that's spending over $300,000 a month on ads, multi-8-figure brand, almost a 9-figure brand, I said, hey man, I'll credit $500 off your next invoice. We're charging him about $3,000 a month to $4,000 a month. And next invoice came and I forgot to credit the $500 because life happens and I just made a mistake. But when that happened, he's like, hey, Jordan, I didn't see the $500 off the next invoice. I thought to myself, dude, you're doing like 8 figures, 9 figures. Who cares? But I'm also a man of my word. And the point within this story is that $500 goes a long way and it means a lot to these prospects. And well, not your prospects. They are prospects if you don't have a testimonial, but it means a lot to your clients to show that you actually care about them. And again, $500 may not seem like a lot, but it's more so the gesture of action. So just a tool to use. Think about it, implement it to your business. Great. So now you have a landing page, you have case studies, you have testimonials, you're ready to launch the frickin' cannon. So what I want you to do is open up your email. I want you to open up your business Instagram. I want you to open up your LinkedIn. And I want you to start looking through all of your DMs. What I'm going to do right now is post a little screenshot of what this looks like. I'm sure you have messages that look like this, but essentially what it's going to look like is, hey, Jordan, I do paper qualified book call. If you're looking for more clients, book a call with me below. And what I want you to do is book a call with every single one of these guys. A lot of you, I know, because I was you, would look at these messages and be like, dude, fuck off. I get hit up every single day. If they say they can book you qualified calls and it's paid per meeting and they have a guarantee, dude, book a call with them. Book as many calls as you possibly can. If you're not satisfied with the amount of calls you're getting, book a call with these guys. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to chat with them. They're going to pitch you their unique outreach service, which is literally just an AI scraper of their website, personalized emails, and just sit through the pitch. It's part of the game. Now, after their pitch, ask them about their pay per meeting model that they talked about. And typically they're going to have 3 different options. And number 1 is the flat fee. Please avoid this. They're probably going to charge you around 2,500 to 3K. I've seen people charge 10 grand a month, but it's literally, hey, give me a flat fee. I'll do email outreach for you. Hopefully you book calls. So there's really no skin in the game for them. You're just giving them a monthly recurring service and you're just hoping for calls to get booked, which isn't the best way to do this. Now, the second way to do this, and this is a little bit better, but it's still not the best way to do this, is payment option number 2, which is maintenance fee plus pay per qualified call. So what this basically means is you pay the vendor $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, and that's the maintenance fee. That's for them to basically cover their domains that they purchase for you, their softwares that they purchase for you. Typically, they're going to mark it up. If you're sending about 500 to 1,000 emails a day, it's probably costing them around $250 to $700. Again, more or less, depending on the softwares they're using. And if they charge you a $1,500 service fee, they're making margin on that. And I'm not saying it's bad to pay people who know what they're doing, but if you're hiring a vendor for the first time, you don't know if they're good or not. And so you're not paying them a flat fee, but you are paying them sort of a flat fee plus per qualified call. And per qualified call is the only way you should work with these people. And so number 3, best option, and this is what you're going to be doing with majority of the vendors in regards to paying them, is a one-time setup fee plus pay per qualified lead. Now, why this is the best option is I'm more than happy to pay Mike to buy the domains, warm up the domains, do the email outreach, help with the copy, etc., etc. Like that costs them money, and I'm happy to cover that. But I want to have a guarantee that says, hey, Mike, if you don't book me 10 calls in the next 60 days, I would like a refund of the setup fee. Now, with that being said, you also have the paper qualified lead model. And so if I get a call on my calendar and they're qualified, and the definition of qualified is they're in my ICP, they're making over X revenue. So it's with me, it's 30K a month. You need to be making at least 30K a month of your business for me to work with you. And then lastly, they actually show up to the call. So if they don't fit within those three ICPs, they're not a qualified call. But if they do, I am happy to pay Mike $150, $250, $350 per qualified booked call, and that's where they should be making majority of their money. Our top vendors are making 8, 9, 10 grand a month because they're booking us a shit ton of calls. But there's a lot of bad vendors out there, and the best way to shift through the shit is to hire as many of these vendors as you possibly can that do have some sort of guarantee. And sort of a way for them to take a risk and for you to take a risk is basically, again, say, hey, I will pay $1,500, $2,500 for your setup fee for you to get everything warmed up. And I'm happy to pay for every single qualified call that you book me on top of that. However, I want to have some sort of KPI that we're both comfortable with. Now, great way to do this is you could say something crazy like 30 booked calls in 60 days. They're probably not going to get that. So do something a little bit more conservative. Say like, hey man, I know you have to warm up the account. I know you have to A/B test. I know you have to, et cetera, whatever they have to do. If you can book me 10 calls in the next 60 days, I will be very happy. And if you have a closing rate of 20% and you book 10 calls and you're charging 3K a month for your service, then you book 10 calls to close 6K worth of deals. If it's $200 per booked call, then you paid $2,000 for those qualified calls for you to close $6,000 worth of business, and you just found a vendor that works. I'll do that all day. But if they don't end up working out, then you can say, hey man, you only booked me one call, or you didn't book me any calls and it's been 60 days. I'd like a refund of the setup fee. And 9 times out of 10, they'll go for this specific option. They want to have skin in the game. If you have a good guarantee, if you have a good offer, if you have case studies, if you have a landing page that showcases you know what you're doing, this is going to absolutely crank for you. So there's 3 things that'll happen. 1, they end up working out. Congratulations, you just found a new acquisition platform that is acquiring net new customers at a profitable rate, which is the whole point of marketing. So now you have one acquisition system or another acquisition system that's working and cranking out qualified book calls. Now, if things don't end up working out, great, no sweat. You can ask for a refund of the setup fee. And if they book me 3 qualified calls in the meantime, I was going to pay for those anyway, and I'm more than happy to pay for those. Now, option 3, if they're a dick and they say, hey, I'm actually not going to give you the guarantee. Well, if you paid for this on a credit card, and this is the next sauce, if you paid for this on a credit card, you can call your credit card company and say, hey, I got scammed by this company. I'd like a refund. And they'll refund you every single time. If you pay for this on a debit card, it gets a little bit more tricky. So please use a credit card because it's basically insurance for you to test out these vendors, see who works and see who doesn't. Now, even more sauce, even more value, even more juice, even more fucking the best thing ever that nobody does. Now, there's credit cards out there that have 0% APY for 12 months. And what that basically means is that I'll have a $5,000 credit limit with a new credit card I get. And if I have 0% APY for 12 months, then I don't need to pay the credit card off for the next 12 months before I get charged interest. So I have 12 months to basically spend $5,000 and I don't have to pay it off and I won't get charged for 12 months. And so a great way to do this, and I put together, I'm going to pull this up right now. So I put together this card sheet that has 8 credit cards that all have 0% APY. I put the time frame right here. I put the accepted right here. I applied for these back in June. This one I don't have to pay off for 12 months. This one I don't have to pay off for 9 months. This one I don't have to pay off for 18 months. And this is the credit limit. So if you add all of these numbers together, back in June, I got $44,000 worth of credit that I could use to hire these vendors at literally no risk to me. Now, don't go and apply for 8 credit cards right out of the gate. What I'd recommend in the beginning is to apply for this Amex Blue Cash and this Amex Blue Plus. If you're a new business, you'll probably get a 2K limit. If you've been in business for a while, you may get a 5K limit. The point is, this credit limit is more than enough for you to hire this vendor, pay for their setup fee, see if they work. And if they don't work, then you can call your company, get a refund, or they'll just refund you because hopefully they're an actual moral business. But I'll send you this sheet. I'll drop it in the description and YouTube channel. but there's some bonuses here right now. So if I spend 3K in the first 3 months, I get $250 credit. Here I get 15,000 points. If I spend 6K in the first 3 months, I get $750. Now, again, don't stockpile debt, don't stockpile credit, and you have to be smart about this. But again, this is a risk-free way for you to hire a shit ton of vendors to test to see if they can crush it for you and actually book calls, or they just shit the bed. This is without a doubt the most risk-free way to book calls on your calendar. You could say, Jordan, I could just spend money on ads and I could book way more calls. Yes, 1,000%. But with those ads, you could be booking unqualified calls. You still have to pay for that. You could be booking a call with somebody who doesn't show up. You still have to pay for that. With this, you're only paying this vendor per qualified showed up call. It is insane why more people aren't doing this. Once you start doing this, you need to be careful with how you're handling these vendors. And I've hired over 40 vendors. I've been doing this for the past 2 years. And my current best vendor is sending thousands and thousands of emails every single day. And he's making a shit ton of money because he actually deserves it. And the good news is, if I want more calls, I can just reach out to him and say, dude, send more emails. And I'll pay a one-time setup fee, which I'm more than happy to do because I actually trust this guy because he's earned his keep. He has proof that he can actually deliver qualified book calls. And I just have to say, hey, dude, send more emails. Now, I don't ever want to be reliant on just one vendor to book all my calls. Like I've said, I've hired 40 vendors in the past 2 years. Some of them have been great and then fallen off. Some of them have been consistently great. Some of them really started off slow and then ended up being great in the long term. You don't know who you're going to get, what service they're going to deliver, and the only way you are going to know is if you get more at bats, if you hire more vendors, if you can get more shots on goal, and you can just test all of these different vendors to see who can crush it for you. So the cycle that I follow in order for me to not have all my eggs in one vendor basket is every quarter I hire 2 to 5 vendors and I give them a shot at booking me more calls because you never know when you're going to find a diamond in the rough. And so step 4, last step, try this yourself. Wherever you're doing business, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, I'm sure you're doing at least 2 of those. Check your DMs. I guarantee you there's somebody who's reached out to you that says, hey, I can book you more calls. Book a call with them, see what their guarantee is, see if they're paper qualified lead. And I guarantee you if you do this, and I know guarantee is an incredibly strong word, and the only thing you can guarantee is death and taxes. But you can also, I'm adding this to the list. I guarantee you, if you hire these vendors, you will be booking more calls than you are today. And if you follow what I talked about in this video, you're going to be doing it at a completely risk-free way for you and your business.